Hello and welcome back to a game of Dota 2. You are watching StarLadder Star Series Season 8, and this is aSpera vs Fnatic in day 4 of the Star Series, and this is officially game 5, but we are casting the 4th game, as one of the games was played in between all the others, or at the same time of others, as we are running slightly behind schedule, as you might notice. aSpera, they will have 1 stand-in compared to 2, so the remake that we just had was good for them, so they can actually have Wall-Eater in. And Fnatic is with their full lineup after coming back from DreamHack. And of course I'm not by myself. Let's not forget to introduce the people that are here with me. We've got Nahaz, he is our stats man, and you will see what kind of stats he does. You won't hear him because the person that you will hear is actually my co-caster, VIII. Welcome back.
Good to be back, Shiver. I haven't watched aSpera yet at all this season, unfortunately, so I'm excited. Their lineup's made a couple changes. Wall-Eater, I haven't seen him play in forever. This is a Swedish player who's been around for several years, I believe, going well into Dota 1, so I'm excited to see what he's going to do this game, because I haven't seen him in Dota 2 in a while.
He played a lot of, normally when you think of aSpera, you think of Sharvik and Storm Spirit. Wall-Eater has been the one to play Storm Spirit on his team.
Okay, that's cool. I mean, I like this player, and it's good to see him, but they're becoming a little more international, I guess. They were a fully Russian team last season, but now obviously they got Wall-Eater Swedish. I think a couple of these other players are not Russian as well. Anyway, Fnatic with the first pick, Nature's Prophet. They love this hero.
Yeah, aSpera not banning it out. Of course, for Fnatic this is their first game, so they haven't got any more games played. This will be their first step into Star Series. For aSpera, they've played 3 games already. They have won 2 games and lost 1. They have they've won up against the retry and up against OSG, but they lost up against Mousesports. But they are still second highest on the list because they've won 2 games. Rejoice.
They've played more games than some of the...
Yeah.
This happened last season too. Like some of the top
difference.
teams didn't play for like the first 2 weeks.
Yeah. We're gonna see if Fnatic can also join that top ranking, or if they will be dropped to the bottom like Virtus Pro just a moment ago. God, I just spoiled that for people. Sorry.
Oof. Yeah.
Better watch it in the order that I put.
So Fnatic apparently are running on, like, collectively between the 5 of them, 10-ish hours of sleep or something.
Yeah.
This is the rumor.
Now,
or not
I
the
know
rumor, that's
that,
what Trixie said.
I mean, they got second place, right? They partied a lot. I know that part. They partied with... Because they couldn't, like... After party was kind of full, and I think that they went to a different place to party with a bunch of them, and they got joined by a couple of other players
for DreamHack?
from Navi for DreamHack, and they had an after party with the 5-ish of them, or I don't know.
Nice.
And
that's probably a more fun place to go out than Columbus was. Columbus was pretty dead after a while. We got kicked out of a bar at 2 a.m. and Navi got really mad. They were like, what even is this America where bars close at 2 a.m.? And I was like, come to New York, we're more civilized.
Well, I know that because of that, some of the Fnatic people indeed did not sleep before traveling, and you can sleep a bit while traveling, but every single one of them didn't have to go far, I believe. Like, some might have to even hop planes a couple, so you can't really sleep for long periods of time, and yeah, it's difficult. But yeah, they are indeed sleep deprived. aSpera was already showing that they were kind of happy about that secretly, but not really making a secret of it. I mean, they are indeed the underdogs in this matchup.
Yeah, definitely. And Fnatic has such a standard, like, classic Fnatic-ish 6.79 lineup. All these heroes, each of these players has played these heroes more than 10 or 20, I think even more than 20 times in this patch alone. Venomancer is, I think, Fnatic's most picked hero in the patch. Nature's Prophet is up there, Puck is up there. Obviously, Hani, Puck, No-Tail Veno, Trixie, Nature's Prophet. The one thing I don't like about this classic Fnatic lineup, and we'll see if aSpera tries to punish it, is Fnatic will sometimes draft these split-pushing lineups, but the only pushing hero is Nature's Prophet. So sometimes they try to split push with Trixie, and he'll just die repeatedly because there's no backup for him to push with. So that's something to watch out for if aSpera try to punish it. The flip side is aSpera picked Darkseer, so that's a thing.
Counter push aplenty for those Nature's Prophets trees. I just thought of a new drinking game.
What?
Well, you
drink every time a team picks Darkseer and then drink again when they lose?
No, I actually, because you said, like, before the draft, you said that the draft was the place where people say the least interesting things. Yeah. And then someone in the chat says trip Dota, so every time someone misses or predicts a hero wrong, then you have to strip. But you can also just, if you're watching a professional game with friends, You can just watch the draft and drink every time you've got like a wrong thing. Like you have to say whichever hero you think is going to be picked up, and then you're drinking.
I thought you were suggesting strip Dota with friends, which I was like, damn, you run with a pretty wild crowd, Shiva.
Yeah, no, that would not be for me. But I would be winning anyway, regardless, because I'm awesome.
That's true, because your predictions are super on point.
There you go.
Damn. Truth.
And if I don't know what to predict, I normally keep my mouth shut or talk over it by saying weird stuff like thinking a new drinking game. No, but I do like the picks of Fnatic a bit more than I like the picks of aSpera, because I don't really have that much faith in the Darkseer, and Weaver is all nice and stuff, but I normally like him more in a dual carry lineup, and it doesn't look like with the Darkseer picked up that they will have that, depending on which mid hero they have. And their mid hero has to be kind of a semi-carry kind of hero.
I agree, and they have to, I think with Weaver, they think that they don't have to counterpick Lifestealer, but I feel like Lifestealer just crushes this lineup anyway, even though Weaver is good against him. Like, I think they still need to ban Lifestealer, or Fnatic can just take it, and it'll be really strong even though they have Weaver. I really don't know about this lineup from aSpera. Because Lifestealer is good against Darkseer too. Like, Darkseer's... Yes, he can surge people away from the open wounds, but his VAC, like, wall just doesn't do anything. In fact, that's the problem with Darkseer. Like, somebody was asking me about this in between the games on a forum, and, like... So Darkseer has been picked almost 100 times this patch, so he's one of the more picked heroes.
Yeah.
Do you want to guess what his win rate is?
39.
It's 30.
Seriously?
It's 30%. Yeah.
I thought I was already going to be a bit lower than, sticking the lower pick, but wow.
Yeah. No, like, for a hero, he's been picked 100 times, and he's lost 70 of those games. That's so bad. Like, if a hero had that pub win rate, you'd see a patch, like, doubling all his numbers. So, he's just a hero who, especially picked early, he's good against heroes that are also not played. Like, he's good against Anti-Mage and Phantom Lancer, and you can't pick either of those heroes in the current meta, really. I don't know. I'm really skeptical. I'm obviously not as good as any of these teams that pick him, but I do feel that he loses a lot of games. And he's a very questionable decision, especially before you see anything that he's good against. Like, if you see Anti-Mage early, then you're like, yeah, okay, we can 5th pick Darkseer or something. But...
Sorry, I just read something in the chat about someone who's already playing the game that I just mentioned. Gyrocopter for Fnatic. I just like that game. It's solid. It is a fairly standard, if you will, apart from the Nyx Assassin, who we don't really see that much of anymore, but I do like him, especially if you already have a Gale to set up for maybe perfect impales, and they've got it all. They've got split push, they've got carry, they've got ganking potential, hard carry potential. Their mid is definitely one that can also be very aggressive, as we have seen Holly playing a perfect puck. So, yeah, they've like got it all in one.
They really
bunch.
do.
They've
It's
got
an
the
amazing
team fight.
draft.
They've got solo team fight. They've got everything. And
if they miss a bunch of Nyx Assassin stuns, then they don't have stuns. But if Nyx Assassin lands stuns, then they have plenty of disabled. They have everything, as you said. And Gyro's even better. Like, he's another hero that Darkseer is meaningless against.
Yeah. I'm worried for aSpera. Their last pick has to be kind of one that, baffles me and I didn't think of yet, and is going to be, oh my god, that actually fits perfectly. That's amazing.
Silencer could be really good here. Think about Silencer mid, but it's just going to be Storm. Yeah, they're just going the super Russian Dota style. I think this is okay. At least they can play the game they want to play. And there is a route for aSpera to win. It's Weaver constantly dives with shields, Fnatic doesn't respond actively, or they don't get TPs on their supports, and aSpera is just up 20-3 at like 15 minutes. That is a way to win. It's not going to be easy, but it's at least possible. And Storm is great against Nature's Prophet. I mentioned earlier Fnatic's like split push, not split push style, and that's absolutely what they've drafted. Nature's Prophet is their only pusher, and Storm Spirit is the single best Nature's Prophet punishing hero.
Yeah, this is not looking good for aSpera in terms of history games. 22-6. That's kind of scary. But yeah, I agree. If that mid lane works out well for aSpera, if Inquisitor, who's not normally the Storm player, because so far it's only been Sharvik and Wall Eater, so maybe slightly something to worry about. But if Inquisitor does well here in the mid lane, then they will be having a decent game. They won't necessarily win, but they'll be having a chance. If Inquisitor loses his lane, I won't give them much chance.
I agree, and I haven't seen Inquisitor play mid that much. He's very good on Lifestealer. Like his side lane carry, I'm generally impressed with, but I don't know how good he is at mid. He has been pooled, so he's gonna have decent damage. It's not the most fun matchup, but he does have a little bit. He's been pooled, and Hani hasn't, so maybe that'll help. He's 1 auto attack damage better, but obviously the range is worse, and silence is scary.
Yeah, silence is scary. Let's take a look at who's playing what, as the horn has sounded. And the battle has commenced. We have Fly playing as Venomancer, and he'll be not getting the first rune because it's bottom. And it will be taken by the Gyro instead. Then let's continue with Fnatic first. So Fly on the Venomancer. We've got Trixie on his Nature's Prophet, of course, one of his signature heroes. Hani, his signature hero, Puck. Didn't really do that well of a job in the block, but oh well, Puck mid. And on the bottom lane, we've got Era on his Gyrocopter, and he'll be supported by No-Tail, who'll be playing the Nyx Assassin with Boots first. So that's going to be something interesting to keep an eye out for his rotation.
It's guarantee stuns, I guess. It's a very interesting choice. And he's got the he has the gem set for Nyx Assassin. Yeah. Sacred Orb. This is the lane to watch, I think, is bottom, because I don't anticipate Inquisitor dominating this lane, although his block was amazing. Like, it was really, really good, but... the bottom lane, if aSpera can convincingly win that, then I think the path to winning is at least like plausible.
Yeah. You want to introduce aSpera still?
Yeah, sure. So it's going to be.
Wait a second, because Fly has got some. Yeah, he Gales Inquisitor. I don't think he can do anything with it though. He has to be careful. No Vortex shit up on Inquisitor. That's going to help him out. Never mind that. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, he does lose a little bit of XP by not being in range, so it's just denial. For aSpera, the bottom lane is going to be Stompa on the Abaddon, Blablafu on the Visage, and Wall Eater on the Weaver. And I know Wall Eater primarily as a carry player, so I'm not that surprised to see this. And then Inquisitor will be in the mid on Storm Spirit, and in the top it's Cat4KM on the Darkseer. This is the other hero I'm going to be watching, because maybe I always want to be proved wrong. I don't like hating on heroes. I want them to do well. I like all the heroes in this game.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Cat4KM, it's a bit of a new player, at least new player for aSpera's team. He's been around in the scene for a while, but yeah, since that they did have Wall Eater, like, and they have Wall Eater as a carry. They have actually swapped Inquisitor to a support role if Sharvik is actually here. So.
Interesting.
That is the change that they've had. But Inquisitor now in the mid because Sharvik isn't here because he has apparently some internet issues on where he is.
Oh, really? It's internet problems?
Yep.
That's really unfortunate. I feel like this draft is like the perfect position for Sharvik to make a huge impact on his favorite hero.
Yeah, I think so too. Fly again in the middle lane with a double damage rune this time. Has to be careful. Inquisitor, of course, I mean, the Storm Spirit overall is the hero that you want to gank before he reaches level 6 because afterwards you're not going to be having a chance anymore.
Want to give a shout out to that pun. That's an amazing pun in the stats.
What's the pun? I didn't
Purple
see it.
people eaten, as opposed to a purple people eater. Whatever, never mind. The problem is right now for aSpera, Fnatic's doing pretty well in this bottom lane. They're even farm versus Wall Eater, and it's 3 versus 2, so they're suffering as far as XP. It's an aggressive tri-lane. They probably don't feel like they can have the Abaddon or the Visage leave. Furthermore, if the Abaddon and Visage leave, it's extremely obvious, so the gank will be coming from a mile away. So far, they're not hitting their marks, I would say, aSpera.
Yeah, the only thing that they can actually be happy about is that Inquisitor is playing very careful here in this middle lane. And therefore Fly is still sitting at level 1 because he's not wanting to steal experience from Hani, he's still wanting to be around. And actually the first blood goes to the bottom lane where No-Tail is going to get another kill right there. Picks up the Visage, but it is the Gyrocopter that dies first. We're going to be going back to top though where Fly has rotated in to Cat4KM. But even with a Gale there, the Surge is still enough for him to get away. So Gyrocopter is indeed the first one to die. aSpera get the first kill. And it actually goes to Wall Eater.
Yeah, exactly. The Weaver managing to pick up that kill. Wow, okay, so immediately gets the Ring of Health. So this is just for sustainability, especially because you're getting constantly harassed by Flak Cannon. You want to be able to survive. I think a more greedy Weaver would have just gone for the Midas recipe immediately, but this is smart. Oh, no.
Impale, that's a dead Weaver. Nice by Carapace, very nice by No-Tail.
It's also the Sentry Ward placement was so clever there. Really hard to counter the sentry, like almost impossible. Even if you have your own sentry, you have to put yourself in such a vulnerable position to try to kill this off. This is incredibly smart.
Yeah, in the meantime, Fly has not been able to get any successful rotations, so still level 1. Now with an Invis rune though, that's going to be helping him out. And that's going to be maybe allowing for a gank here on mid finally.
Is Storm 6? No, he's not.
Era might actually still go down. So Assumption, it will be enough. That's going to be the second kill right there.
Yeah. This tri-lane, as long as they can keep generating kills on Gyro, I think the game is within reach. There's the Gale. It misses? How did he miss that Gale? Wow. Huh.
Wow, I didn't even see that. Like, I was having my camera on there, but my computer did not register the Gale, or my eyes did not.
It missed by a little bit. And actually, without that kill, Fly is now really struggling because he's only level 2. With the kill, he would have probably gotten a decent chunk of the way to level 3, but he doesn't have wards, so he can't jungle. Veno with wards can jungle pretty easily and get the XP back. So the question right now for Fly is, where does he find levels as this Venomancer?
Well, they really still want to take down mid, apparently. No-Tail has actually rotated around to make that happen, leaving the Gyrocopter by himself. He actually places a ward as well, but they don't really have the initiation apart from smoking and just going all the way around. But we'll see if they'll do that, or if they just run in. The Dream Coil is there, that might be enough. Inquisitor looking for the Impale. Nature's Prophet ult coming out, and that's indeed going to be guaranteeing the kill right there. That's going to put Fly on almost level 3, and that was exactly the one that they wanted to have.
Yeah, Fnatic answering the question of where they're going to find levels, yes, by eating Storm Spirit repeatedly. Now, their time to do that is shortening, because of course Storm Spirit is about to hit level 6 as soon as he comes back, so it's good that they got the kill in when they could. After that, it's really going to be... I think the Nyx Assassin pick 4th was predicting... Like, they probably intentionally gave aSpera the Storm Spirit, thinking that Nyx is going to counter it, so we'll see how that pans out as the game stretches on.
And this start for Era is indeed not all that strong, as Fly still hanging around mid, still wanted to force Inquisitor back a bit. Might have a go up on Era again though. He's level 5, he's got himself 22 last hits, which is definitely not bad considering he's up against an aggressive tri-lane, actually quite high considering he's indeed outnumbered, and he died twice. Yeah. Nature's Prophet is highest on last hits in an ISO. He is sitting on 33 to 14. He's still going for a Hand of Midas. And he's still having a good old time. And on the other side, Cat4KM, he's got 24 last hits. Not bad at all, but not something where he should be, considering he is a Darkseer.
Yeah, I wonder what the build for this guy is these days. I feel like you kind of do have to go Midas, since at least you're good at laning and farming. At least you can try to get some good items up, even if your spells don't do anything.
No-Tail and Air are caught out. The Impale misses, but Warrior backs off. They wanted to maybe try and pincer them, but...
yeah, I'm surprised.
Just arrest them.
It's tough too. If Era had call down, that would be like a really, really suicidal thing to go in on. Like, remember that play at MLG where they went on Sakshka and he just casts call down and everybody dies?
Yes, I do. That was kind of insane. And he is level 6 right now, so...
Era has gone the build that's not that impressive in a confrontation like that though, because he has 3 in Flak Cannon for harassment rather than 3 in Rocket Barrage for killing power. So that's relevant to a confrontation like that. Yeah. Here's Trixie though.
Yep, Storm zipping in on him. That's going to be a Vortex. Cat4KM helping out with the punching power, and the kill goes to him as well. So that's going to be a 1-kill first rotation of Inquisitor. Successful one as well. In the meantime, on the bottom lane, there is a call down. There is a double kill for that Gyrocopter without kill potential, and another kill for No-Tail. So 1 sentry ward, 1 call down. He didn't even use Rocket Barrage.
Yeah, the Nyx Assassin in this dual lane is getting such good levels. That's really what's key. You're talking about a level 7 Nyx and a level 7 Gyro against 5-4-4, right? So the maximum rank Impale alone is going to, if it hits 2 or 3 people, they're basically dead, because that's a guaranteed at least 1 hit of call down the entirety of Black.
This Darkseer might be in some trouble. Yep, ultimate bouncing through is going to be enough. Trixie with a kill. And his Hand of Midas is not yet ready.
I don't know how this happened, but all of a sudden it's 7-3 Fnatic. This is the opposite of what it needs to be for aSpera to win this game.
Yeah, and they go again. Impale up on 2, the Vendetta being there. Stompa, he doesn't have level 6, so he dies as well. Double kill for No-Tail. That was a perfect Impale.
Yes,
no time
No-Tail
for
is... Yeah, No-Tail's playing extremely well. Every decision of his this game, I think, has been very strong.
And Hani, he wants to go for kill as well, and that's going to be a Visage, and an easy one at that, as he just tries to walk out of the Dream Coil, but gets stunned, and therefore the orb hits guaranteed, and Waning Rift, and then you're dead. That's how it works. 10-3.
aSpera are pretty close to losing this game, actually. I hate to say it. They're not dead yet, but just look at this. Weaver has a Midas recipe, and he's still 400 gold off of his Midas, so now he's committed to the Midas, more or less, and it's not going to do much. He's so behind on levels. The lowest level on Fnatic, Veno, who was level 2 at like 5 minutes, now has ultimate. So they can't 5v5. ganks can still work just because Storm Spirit's doing okay, but the margin of error is insanely narrow because of those last 2 huge teamfight losses. And even the Nyx Assassin is extremely scary now. From a 4 position, he's 5-0-3. Like, oh my god.
He's been involved in 8 out of the 10 kills. It is quite scary, actually. And I mean, in this kind of game, you would normally want to have an offlaner that would have an impact with his ultimate, or an impact like around this time, kinda. And Darkseer's not going to be that. He needs more time. He needs to get Mechanism or something like that before he can actually help out. He actually picked up his Darkseer role at level 8, which is not something that you often see, but he's kind of forced into it because
he feels pressure to contribute.
They need to do something, and he is the only one that can help them at this point.
Yep. I agree, but the Darkseer, like, his only spell right now is Ion Shell. Like, he has rank 1 Vacuum.
Oh, there you go, on the Darkseer. The wall goes down, but I don't think it matters much. Inquisitor still comes out. Spike Carapace is still there. Fly goes for his ultimate, gets a 2-man kill as well. Will still get dropped, with Puck already down as well. Inquisitor making it happen. Stompa looks to be in still some kind of trouble, but I think he'll be making it out alive. He has got a shield, and he'll be able to use it. Yep, there he goes. Tower still went down mid. I'm quite impressed that they actually were able to get the puck. That was very important.
Yeah. Good, really good maneuvering from Storm Spirit. I believe a lot of things that's the difference between like a decent Storm Spirit and a really good Storm Spirit is maximizing the damage of the ball lightning. Like, you don't want a ball lightning right next to somebody. That's a huge waste of mana. You have to run over them so you actually get the big damage through. Yeah. So he did that right as the wall came up. So that was really, really, really good. If Puck had stayed alive longer, Fnatic could mop up that fight. Instead, it's a 2-for-1. It's okay for aSpera. The most important thing is that Storm is able to keep contributing. Yeah. But Puck has Blink, so
yeah, I don't know. That is the double-edged blade right there. He is going to be doing quite okay. And I mean, Storm is still in the game, and I think if they would have lost that fight, the game would have been about over, because Fnatic would have just been continuing to roll over aSpera. But because of that fight going not too bad, they can still hold on. They need to be keeping some kind of pressure on, though. They need to make sure their towers don't fall, because when that starts happening, when Fnatic, I mean, they're already ahead, they're already 5k ahead in gold, even though they've only taken on 1 tower, but when they are able to just push down every tower on the map on the side of aSpera, nice deny! That one familiar, brilliantly done by BlaBlaFu.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they need to be doing. Don't give gold
I
to
like
Fnatic.
that. For sure, especially because Trixie already has a ton of gold. What's up the... Oh no.
That's gonna be one Darkseer killed off. No kill actually coming in. Wanted to snipe the kill, it looks like. But...
He did. He totally went for the
yeah,
kill
you
there.
saw him raising his paws, but no. Denied.
Yeah. He raised his feelers.
Okay, I guess he doesn't have paws.
Yeah, he's a bug. Shooter.
Well, Era in some trouble,
Until
so something comes in. Inquisitor as well. Vortex, Era will get dropped. No cavalry this time. Even though Hani is still there. The Sentry Ward is here as well. The smoke goes off. Hani really wants to get that Visage, I think. He can.
He does, but he blinks the wrong way. I think he can still kill him, probably.
Yeah, if the orb hits.
On his way out.
And there comes the heal, the shield. It's enough, the silence. He still jumps forward. The Sprout up on only 1. Nature's Prophet, though, not able to go in on that one.
See, now Valve heard you about the pause, though, and they're going to make a cat set for Nyx. There's going to be a cat set for every hero.
No, but it wasn't made by Valve itself, right?
It was not made by Valve, but somebody will make it, and Valve will instantly approve it.
Cool. Pause for the Nyx.
Pause for Nyx. Just
big bear pause. I actually did like the boots of the Drow Ranger. Like, the boots as pause is quite nice, because, you know, she's in the forest, so she makes her boots of skin anyway.
Here's Storm.
Yeah,
maybe he can
Blink
make
Visitor killed Gale up on 2, Impale up on 2, Cat for KM stunned for the moment as well, and he will not be able to help this team, but now he surges up Wall Eater. They want to try and make something happen. The Sprout, the cooldown though, it's all there. The Poison Nova, cooldown. That's gonna be Darkseer in a lot of trouble. Soul Assumption doesn't do that much, and Cat for KM will not be able to make it out alive.
Here comes the Nature's Prophet.
When the Nature's Prophet ults, and he gets a double kill. Trixie, only one left alive as well, Eater. He did make it back to base, barely though, with his Hand of Midas off cooldown. So that's kind of a shame for him, because he won't be able to see a creep in a while.
Dude, Nature's Prophet in that fight was so typical Nature's Prophet teamfight contribution. He ignored the fight, he gets the tower, and then just pushes Wrath of Nature and kills 2 people.
Nope. That's a Nature's Prophet for you. They're already starting to bang out on the tier 3 tower. It's only 14 minutes in, but aSpera... they just can't do anything against it, so why wouldn't Fnatic continue? And actually, they're continuing on. Vortex there, still up on Honey, though. He might be in some trouble there. Stick charges, Rocket Barrage, Inquisitor will be the one to be forced out of this fight. Nice Dark Seer ult. That might help them out. Puck still dies. Nature's Prophet dies as well, as Wall Eater is part of the cleanup crew right here. Chasing down Air. Nice call down. Air as the last one alive for his team, though, and it might not be for a very long time. Wall Eater will get himself a double kill, and that is a team wipe on the side of Fnatic, who were a bit too greedy. A bit overconfident there.
Definitely just pure greed for Fnatic there. They probably could have just run. They didn't need tier 3 by any means, but honestly, even with that team wipe, Fnatic are very comfortably ahead. It's great that aSpera got that, and to have any hope in the game, they needed it, and well played, honestly. Cat4KM played well. Inquisitor not giving up, jumping in. Even at this point, like, even if he throws himself into the meat grinder, it's okay, because they need any sort of initiation they can get.
Yeah. And with that, I mean, the gold graph does drop back a bit. The experience graph shows it more clearly, because they just killed off a lot of heroes that were very high level. So all of a sudden, Blabafu is level 8, almost level 9. We've got ourselves a band that's level 8, and they really needed those levels. So that's going to help them out a lot, especially if they can also get some towers right now, which is what they're trying on the bottom lane, because they need some extra gold. They also do need to hold on to their own towers, though, so perhaps we're going to see them trying to defend mid, even though everybody's Fnatic is coming in.
It's a neat stat. Fnatic wanted to get fast racks. Sometimes teams will just GG if they're losing racks at this time too, like before one actually falls. But yeah, I mean, Fnatic are so comfortable because Trixie is just... They really didn't do anything to him. He has 4 staff for positioning, Necronomicon for push. He's 8.6k net worth. Just the Nature's Prophet alone is very difficult to controvert by aSpera.
That is true. Well, that's going to be another team fight contribution for Prophet, or at least he took the tower again, so he gets some extra gold. I wouldn't be surprised if Hanny decided to jump in, considering he feels quite confident, but no, that's not what they're trying. They don't have the backdoor protection, though, with the creeps coming in from the side, so they can just try to take down some of these racks still. Might not be making that 15-minute mark, but, you know, can't hurt to try. Still get them in time. Inquisitor taking a bit of damage from taking down the Necronomicons who come from Trixie. But I don't think it doesn't seem to matter. They'll still get the ranged racks, and actually Flak Cannon coming in. Cold on as well. Blinking from No-Tail. That's going to be one Storm Spear dead already. No buyback. Poison Nova from Fly. Cat4KM does drop as well, but I don't think it matters. The mechanism, he will be able to make it out unless there's going to be some big... Well, awkwardness. Well, there goes.
Nick's
there
assassin
goes.
having a tough time.
Bloodlove, who's the last one alive for his team, does throw the Soul Assumption to No-Tail, but other than that, he only just bought back, and he is gonna be almost killing himself, and yeah, he dies.
The Carapace timing. Oh, the blink. Wow, No-Tail's having an insane game.
Yeah.
Wow, No-Tail this game, honestly. Like, the timing of that spiked Carapace, it got both the Weaver auto attack that could have killed him and the Soul Assumption at the end that would have killed him. Then he blinks out and back in to still land the mana burn. I was just... honestly, I'm so impressed. I feel like No-Tail, if he had had any worse of a game, aSpera actually would have had a good chance, because they got those early kills on Era, and they were doing decent in the tri-lane, and then Nyx just stopped them cold with constant stuns as soon as Call Down was available, and it just turned the game around completely.
Yeah, this was still the 17th fast barracks. Well, that's actually pretty decent. Oh, in the last
I mean,
4
Fnatic
weeks.
are really rolling, and it doesn't matter whether Nature's Prophet is their only natural push hero if he himself is so far ahead and the rest of the team is ahead.
Yeah, we actually have had the Midas for the Venomancer, because, you know, Fly wants to keep the Midas gaming alive. He is not the only one with the Midas on his team. How many Midases are in this game? 2? No, 3 at least. 3. Who? It's not even that bad. Got the mechanism for the Dark Seer, which is not really seeming to help out all that much. I have to say.
I mean, it helps, but
the Gem of Truth on No-Tail time-lapse to try and get away. Trixie.
Good time-lapse.
They still look for him. The blink forward, the Impale,
nice.
Wall Eater still dream coiled up. Vacuum is there. The time-lapse is on cooldown and they know it. And Wall Eater will get picked off because of that. Inquisitor forced out as well, as Cat4KM is going to be healed up for a little while, and that's going to be enough to keep him up. No. Unless Fnatic is going to die of this. Oh well, they are going to die of this. Impale up on Inquisitor, who will go down before he can zip himself away. Abaddon running for his life, but they want to go for the Visage first. The Sprout is up. No-Tail has got another Impale again in a second. Who is he going to go for? Stompa? Blink forward, Impale, Stompa, Right clicks come in, down he goes,
So,
one hero left alive.
yeah,
It is Cat for KM, and it is a GG. Wow.
To me, the value of this game is just, if you want to watch how to play good, support Nyx Assassin in 6.79. I learned a lot from this game, actually, from watching No Tail. Like, one thing that he did this game that I haven't seen any Nyx Assassin do as much is, like, don't be afraid to cast cancel. Like, the timing of Impale appears, at least in this game, not to be as important as ensuring 100% that you land it.
Yeah.
He missed only 1 or 2 Impales because he wasn't afraid to cast cancel up to 5 times to make sure he got the positioning. And so every single one of his Impales was just backbreaking for aSpera. Not to mention, I mean, obviously his Spiked Carapace timing was good, but any decent Nyx Assassin player is going to have good Spiked Carapace timing. It's really the Impale that's going to make the difference. 9, 1, and 13 is just... I can't say enough about No Tail's play this game. He absolutely was by far the standout player.
That's for sure. So if people want to indeed check that out, you have to buy the ticket, and that's no punishment at all. Because you can at least watch the replay, so you can study your favorite heroes and players a bit more, or just watch the VODs of course, previous games. Or you can just, profit from the Weaver set that you get, if you play Weaver a lot. And on top of that, you support StarLadder by giving $2.5 of the price of the ticket to the total prize pool that goes directly to the players. So you support esports.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
you do support esports in multiple ways. You keep StarLadder with their share. You keep the players. It's all good.
Yep.
I don't know. This is another good season. Last season of StarLadder was amazing, and I have big hopes for this season. Yeah,
2 more teams, still the same amount of days to play all the games in, so we'll see how that goes. But in a contrary to previous season, like all the lands that are happening, there's actually going to be a break for StarLadder every time. So for example, coming weekend when EMS is going on, there will be not any games for StarLadder.
Right.
So that's I actually find that really nice because then I get some days off. But
you don't have to cast 30 days in a row. Yeah.
Yep. But it's also just nice for the teams, and yeah, I think it's good.
Yep.
So that was actually the last game of today. Tomorrow there's going to be 5 more games. Let's do a quick preview of tomorrow because actually there is one game that is postponed, and that is a Na'Vi game, unfortunately, for people that wanted to watch that one. But we do have another Na'Vi game. The game which I said for Na'Vi wasn't actually rescheduled by Na'Vi but by their opponent, so that's why. But it will be the first game of the day is Na'Vi versus Flipside, then Flipside versus Power Rangers, then Poseidon versus Sigma, and then Mousebirds versus SSD. So those will be the games that we have tomorrow, and it looks like the day afterwards also 4 games, and the day afterwards also 4 games. That also means that the later the season goes, the more games we'll have per day, because everybody will have to fit their game in somewhere.
Yeah, everybody packs them in.
Yep. But for tomorrow, 4 games. Of course, Vickerman, thank you for joining me. I had fun.
Thank you.
I hope you do.
Yeah, me too.
And
definitely.
I guess today we also had only 4 games with Power Rangers versus 4.
Yeah, I mean 5 games were played, but we cast 4.
Yeah. I actually still don't know the result of that one, do you?
Yeah, Power Rangers demolished 4FC. 15-2 OD, 13-1 Marana.
Wow.
Yeah. Power Rangers, dude.
Power Rangers
so strong.
With the Marana.
Except when they just feed and lose.
Yeah, it's either they own or they suck.
Yeah, I have no idea how good Power Rangers are. It's literally impossible to tell. Like they'll crush Na'Vi sometimes. Yeah. Like Na'Vi obviously degaffs, but still like they can beat Alliance, they can beat Na'Vi, and they can like lose to like tier 10 teams.
Yeah. You can't really like don't bet. Don't save your rares.
Don't bet on Power Rangers games.
Yeah. That's probably the best bet to make, regardless.
Yeah.
Just don't bet. Well, of course, also shout out to Nahaz, who was our stats man for the 3 games that we had today, 3 of the 4. So at Nahaz Dota, you can follow him on Twitter there. Of course, you can follow Vickerman on Twitter at vickerman.com. Do you have any shout outs or plugins, any extra ones?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, thanks so much for watching, everybody, both in-game and Twitch. You can check me out, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, website, all under the same name. And I do have a viewer shout out today because Cyberskunk reminded us that they're not paws or feelers, they're chelicerae.
How? So, what? Say again?
So Nyx's appendages are chelicerae.
Oh, I've never heard that word before.
It's bug feet. It's like the technical term, I believe. And I may have pronounced it wrong as well, so I don't know. That's my guess.
It's like in the Netherlands, there's no difference.
Between what?
Well, if I'm calling a dog paw,
yeah,
like it's the same word.
Oh, it's still a paw no matter what? Interesting.
It's not
a paw, I believe a paw in English has to be basically like patted. Like
yes, Because but
Bugs
it's
can't
not the
have
same
pause.
word. Like,
Yeah.
it's pote. Well, whatever.
Right.
It's a weird word. But yeah, it's, I guess, poaches. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess you just
But
call
yeah,
them
no,
little
so shout out
paws.
to Cyberskunk, shout out to Finding Nemo and the folks at Pixar Entertainment.
Are you gonna give us a whale goodbye?
No.
Come on, you can do it!
Pass.
Oh,
No Viper goodbye either, despite my amazing Viper impression.
damn.
Which is actually Night Stalker impression, I guess.
Well, I was really hoping for a whale goodbye. That would be quite
Maybe
awesome.
next time. Maybe next time.
Well,
Alright, and thanks Shiva, obviously. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah.
It's always really fun to cast with you.
Thank you for co-casting with me as well. I had fun too. So, yeah, that was it, people. Follow, subscribe, like, do everything that you need to be doing to support me and StarLadder and Vickermont and Nahaz and everybody else that you think that needs supporting. And, I'll see you tomorrow. Here we go. Bye-bye.